clearly, whatever damage Israel did to Iran's ballistic missile operational capability wasn't enough to stop what was a very large and concerted attack.
Here's some of the footage coming in. Iran bombing Tel Aviv. Iran launching hundreds of ballistic missiles in retaliation for the Israeli strike on sites across Iran. And to analyze all of this and break it down for us, we're going to bring in our first guest. He is Scott Ritter, a former Marine Corps intelligence officer, UN weapons inspector, who writes at scottritter.substack.com. Scott Ritter, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we're just reacting to news as it's unfolding. Right now, we are watching Iran retaliate. What do you make so far of this strike by Iran against Israel, hitting Tel Aviv, including possibly, it's rumored to be Israel's military headquarters?
Well, first of all, any notion that Israel might have had by carrying out its Pearl Harbor attack, its surprise attack against Iran, that it would somehow be able to prevent an Iranian retaliation, I think that's been laid to rest. Clearly, whatever damage Israel did to Iran's ballistic missile operational capability wasn't enough to stop what was a very large and concerted attack. The other thing that comes out is that, many people thought that it was going to be Iran that was defenseless. In fact, you heard statements coming from Israel that, in the United States, that Trump, you have no defenses, you're defenseless, surrender now, and we'll show mercy to you, or something of that nature. Well, apparently Israel today lost an F-35. That's the information that's coming out. I can't confirm that yet. Maybe a pilot captured. Israeli missiles that were fired into Iran were intercepted. So Iran has reconstituted its defensive capabilities. The Iranian missile attack shows that Israel is defenseless. Israel can't defend against this. The Iranian attacks involve very advanced missile systems that not only have the ability to penetrate, but to saturate the Israeli defenses. And these are Israeli defenses backed up by the United States, by the way. The reports are that American Aegis ships were also involved in the attempted interception of Iranian missiles. The THAAD missile defense system, the best that the United States has, was involved. And they couldn't stop this attack. And this is just day one. Israel will run out of missiles. That is a guarantee. Israel does not have sufficient stock to continue this level. Will Iran run out of missiles? What happens if this continues for 5 days from now and there are no more missiles to defend Israel? What happens when we run out of missiles? Remember, our ships have a finite stockpile of missiles. When we run out of SM-3s, SM-6s, and Iran doesn't run out of missiles, and now Israel is just laying there exposed, this could literally be the end of Israel. This is the kind of stupidity that should have been factored in when Israel initiated this Pearl Harbor event.
Well, that's my next question. I mean, you say that Israel is defenseless and could run out of missiles. Don't you think that was factored in when they decided to launch this attack? And that leads me to think that they do have enough missiles to repel this Iranian counterattack. I mean, why are you so confident that Israel is defenseless?
Well, we know Israel ran out of missiles last time. So, and I know that there's a finite manufacturing capacity. So between October of last year and this year, how many missiles could Israel have produced? Not that many. We know the United States runs out of missiles. That's one of the reasons why we had trouble against the Houthis. We were running out of surface-to-air missile intercept capability. We know that Iran, allegedly has stockpiled, thousands of missiles. So I'm confident in my production math. I'm not claiming that I have access to the production records, but I know what it takes to build an intercept missile. I know how expensive they are. And I know that Israel could not have built sufficient capacity between October and this year to survive thousands of Iranian missiles coming in. Now, the question is, does Iran retain thousands of missiles? We don't know what damage Israel did to Iran's capacity. We know that they struck Kermanshah, Piran Shah, and other known Iranian ballistic missile operational bases, but we don't know what damage, if any, was done to the missiles themselves. So um, I'm just telling you right now that one of the ways that missile defense systems fail is that they just run out of interceptors. And you see this right now. We don't know what the launch to intercept factor is. For instance, in Ukraine, the Patriot missile now has been refined to where basically they're firing 4 interceptors against a single ballistic missile incoming. And that's after years of refinement. We don't know. First of all, there's multiple layers of the Israeli air defense. And so they're going to seek to engage out far with David Sling and Arrow 3 and others. But if they fail, they already fired those interceptors. They failed. Now they're coming into the second layer. And here you're going to see THAAD and Patriot. And when they fail, you come into the final intercept. So for each Iranian missile that successfully intercepts the Earth, you may be looking at upwards of 12 interceptor missiles being fired against them. You can't sustain a 12-to-1 ratio like that. It's fiscally impossible and it's physically impossible. So that's why, there's a good chance that, and you say, you say, why would Israel start something like this? I've said from the very beginning that Israel cannot initiate and sustain a strategic air campaign against Iran. It lacks the capacity to do so. They can initiate a strategic air campaign, which they did. They can't sustain it. It's unsustainable. They don't have the force structure to do that. They don't have the weapons capacity. The only nation in the world that has that capacity is the United States. The United States has been reticent about getting involved in a strike against Iran. I believe Israel, I think they tried to convince Trump, who's emerging as one of the dumbest men on the planet, excuse me. They convinced him over the objection of the Pentagon, because I know the people in the Pentagon. I don't know all of them, but I know some of them, and I know of the people, meaning the kind of people they put there. They're not idiots. They know reality. They are able to do basic military math, and nobody in the Pentagon would have said Israel has a snowball's chance in hell of delivering a knockout blow against Iran. The president listened to Netanyahu, got the briefings from Netanyahu's people, and believed in it because he's bragging. I gave you 60 days, and on day 61, the Israelis hit the knockout blow, and I warned you it was coming. Now you must beg and come crawling to me for peace. Well, that means he was involved in this. That means he was knowledgeable of this. His tweets are literally, they condemn him in the eyes of the world. If Trump, the president, believed that Israel could deliver the knockout blow, then he would give the green light. And it appears that's what he did. Now Trump is going to be confronted with the fact that he was lied to by the Israelis, that the Israelis lacked the capacity to finish the job. And now Israel is going to be bending over backwards to get the United States to intervene. And we know the United States is prepared to do this. The General Kurilla has briefed the White House on strike options. And I want to make one point on that, because a lot of people will say, well, that's normal. It's normal for an American general to brief America must be ready for anything. If the president of the United States greenlit an Israeli attack against Israel, and you have General Kurilla briefing the president before the attack.
An attack against Iran, yeah.
Iran, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, Aaron. You have no idea how long this day has been. I think you do have an idea how long this day has been. It's a crazy day. So I'm lucky I can even talk right now. But for Kurilla to give this briefing, it means that United States military planners are intimately knowledgeable of every aspect of what Israel has done here. Every aspect. I've done this kind of planning before. I'm here to tell you right now, we know that Israel put special operations forces on the ground inside Iran. I will tell you that if America is thinking about getting involved, and we don't know at which stage we could get involved, let's say Iran, those missiles today went against American bases. We'd have American aircraft in Iran right now, guaranteed. We will not allow Iran to attack us. But to do that, we would have to know where the Israeli Special Operations Forces are, which means that our JSOC people, our Special Operations Command people, are in continuous contact with their liaison services with Israel, who are telling us where the guys are on the ground, plotting out the no-go zones, etc., to have deconfliction. If Israel is continuing to launch another wave of attacks, we need to know that so we deconflict it from our attacks. We can't have our aircraft flying into areas where Israeli missiles go. That means the United States knows everything about the Israeli attack. We are intimately involved in it. We helped plan it, and we're ready to be folded into it at any time. This is one of the greatest challenges Iran's going to face in the coming days, is don't allow Israel to escalate this conflict to the point that the United States comes involved, because that is Israel's only chance. Only chance. They need to get the United States involved. If they don't, Israel can't survive this politically. This is devastating to Israel politically. And it's probably devastating to them economically. We don't know what was hit, but we don't know what capacity is removed. But if Iran can sustain this level of attack for 5 days, and as Israel runs out of missile intercept capability, Israel is defenseless. And that's it. Israel just lost the war. So Iran's goal right now is to sustain this attack and not get the United States involved. Israel's goal right now is to get the United States involved.
Come see us on tour in Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.